Hi, welcome to Lesson 6, Researching the Rhetorical Listening Essay. I am not going to be on camera today just because I have not washed my hair and I look a little bit like a hot mess. And so I'm going to keep the computer screen front and center today. But let's go ahead and get started talking about Lesson 6. So, in the previous lesson, in Lesson 5, we worked on identifying a theme so that we can engage in rhetorical listening. And if you will notice back in the Lesson 5 discussion thread, I have gone through and left comments for everybody's post in the discussion thread itself, giving you some feedback to help you know kind of where to go directly, where to go further for your research paper or for this next paper. So should you, what are some topics that you might think about, or what are some topics you might explore further this week? And so be sure to kind of return back to Lesson 5 discussion and review those comments. So for this week, what we're going to do is we're going to kind of carry it one step further. So in Lesson 5, you selected a This I Believe essay. You kind of started thinking about, how could you write a paper about this essay? I also left you feedback to help you with that, kind of finding that direction. And this week, we're going to start researching for sources. So you're going to be working this week to understand the circumstances, the background, life experiences, the political, social, and economic realities that our writers have faced. So in order to research this assignment, we're going to take some time to read and reflect on various sources in order to learn more about the writer's circumstances or the realities that they faced. Now, for many of you, you selected an author who is not famous. And so you might think, well, how am I going to find any information about this topic or about this author because this person's not famous? And that's okay. You don't have to select a famous figure. Instead, you want to think about some of the questions or concerns or issues that writer, identifies in his or her personal essay. And I left some examples in the discussion thread for you to look at. So we are going to focus this week on engaging in rhetorical listening by locating sources. So when engaging with sources, you'll want to take some time to consider the timeliness, legitimacy, relevance, and accuracy of the sources. Your goal is to engage with the research and become an information literate person. The American Library Association notes that an information literate person determines the nature and extent of the information needed, accesses the needed information effectively and efficiently, evaluates information and its sources critically, and incorporates selected information into his or her knowledge base and value system, uses information effectively to accomplish a specific purpose, and understands many of the economic, legal, and social issues surrounding the use of information, and accesses and uses information ethically and legally. So information literacy is defined by the American Library Association as a set of skills that require you to recognize when information is needed and have the ability to locate, evaluate, and use effectively the needed information. So this week, we're going to work on locating sources. The sources for this paper can come from a general access search on the internet, maybe YouTube videos, TED Talks, blogs, social media. You could also look at sources online in the library databases. And in order to introduce you to the databases, this week you're going to complete a library orientation. So let's look at what else we're doing this week. So for this week, we're going to read from the Hub in the preface, Strategies for Success, Writing a Rhetorical Listening Essay, and we're going to read the research chapter from the book. We're also going to read from This I Believe, essays focused on faith. Some of you mentioned in your discussion thread that your religious affiliation is really important to you. So I really hope that these essays are invitational and they really kind of speak to you and are something that you're interested in reading. Then we're also going to read from the Writing Toolkit, Strategies for Writing the Rhetorical Listening Essay, and we're going to read from the Writing Toolkit, Developing the Rhetorical Listening Essay. We are going to complete the library orientation. We are going to also complete a reading quiz and an INRW content pages and assignments assessment. And finally, we'll complete an INRW check-in. In regard to the apply section of this week's lesson, we are going to complete a discussion thread that will kind of carry us one step further in this guided brainstorming that we're doing in preparation for lesson 7 when we actually kind of get down to business and start writing this paper. So I'm going to pause here and I'm going to go into these assignments and I will create another video that I can link up at the top there. All right, thanks.